Assalamu alaikum. Today I would like to share my revert story with you. This is my first YouTube video, so please be a bit patient with me. I guess I have to begin by saying that I am Austrian, and Austria is officially a majority Christian country, but actually it's majority atheist. I study English and history, and I'm currently writing my diploma thesis. Um, I grew up in an atheist family. I was atheist myself until recently. Um, and I mean, I was really 100% atheist. I thought that religious people are less intelligent than atheists. Um, the turning point in my life came in 2008 when I made friends with a Muslima. Um, and one day we were talking about Islam, and I was really bashing on Islam because I hated religions, I hated Islam in particular. Actually, I was really horrible at that time. Um, she defended her religion, and we were fighting pretty badly. Um, and at some point in time, I bought a Quran to have more arguments against Islam. I began to read the Quran, and the first thing that happened was that I realized that there are not only these passages which are quoted by Islam critics, these passages which are considered harsh and violent and intolerant, but the majority of the Quran verses just tells you to be a good person. And really, the Quran as a whole is very peaceful. And a second thing that happened was that after some time of reading, I began to fear hell, because the Quran says over and over again, if you die as a non-Muslim, you're going to hell. And I mean, of course, at the beginning I reacted with coolness. I thought like, everybody can write this, I'm not gonna believe everything I read. But I found this coolness reaction, I found to be described in the Quran very well. I found my own reaction, described very well. So that kind of freaked me out. And a third thing that happened when I read the Quran was that I became utterly impressed by how God is described in the Quran. Like, it was just so majestic and impressive. So I really became a doubting atheist, or a confused atheist. And the next chapter in my revert story is hungry for knowledge, because what I did in this confused state was I was sucking in knowledge as much as possible. I attended lectures at university, like a series of lectures like Introduction to Islam, Islam and Modernism, and so on. I read the Quran, I read other things, and it was a hard time for me because, sometimes part of me was Muslim already, and part of me was still atheist, and one day the Muslim in me was stronger, and one day the atheist in me was stronger. I had this inner quarrel, and I think it's a miracle that I didn't develop a split personality. To make a long story short, at the end of this process, after some years, I was a Muslim. I was no longer atheist. I stopped drinking alcohol, I stopped eating pork. So the final chapter in my revert story is Muslim, and I was a believing Muslim at some stage, but to be completely honest, I didn't have the motivation to actually practice Islam. And I mean, I was alone. I didn't have any Muslim friends. All of my friends and family were atheists. This state lasted for some years. Um, Things changed for me when I discovered all these videos on YouTube. I mean, the Dean Show and Yusuf Estes and Shabir Ali and all the others. I really became a fan of Dr. Shabir Ali because on the one hand he remains true to religion, and on the other hand he's very modern in his thinking. So when I was watching his videos, I really could explain Islam to people. Um, so I became part of this YouTube community, and I was not alone anymore. Um, and I made friends with a Palestinian Muslim, and he took me to a mosque. It was actually just a flat in an apartment building. Um, I learned how to pray, you know, took me some months to learn how to pray. I started praying 1 time a day, now I'm praying 2 times a day, and inshallah, I'm gonna, you know, add more and more prayers until I pray 5 times a day. And when I told my parents that I'm a Muslim now, they were not happy. Um, my father is atheist, as I said, and he's really fundamentally against religions. Um, but I did my best to educate them in a nice way, to educate them to clear the misconceptions, and that really helped. I think they now can understand Islam a bit better. Um, friends, one of my friends is against Islam, but the others reacted quite well when I told them. I still have my old non-Muslim friends. I mean, some of my friends are Muslim, some are not. I still play music. Um, yeah, finally, I would like to mention that there were times when Christian apologetics really made me doubt in my faith in Islam, and that was a hard time too for me. But what I did again was I was sucking in as much information as possible. Again, I attended lectures like the historical Jesus at university. That was very, very interesting. And I read parts of the Bible, and I discovered that the Bible is actually harsher and stricter than the Quran. Um, and at the end of this process, I was very steadfast in my belief in Islam. And um, 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 one last thing I would like to mention is that um, there's some things happening in Islamic countries which really make me sad. And I don't agree with every aspect of Islam as it's preached today. I think that reform is overdue, and I'm not alone with this opinion, but that's a different topic. So that was my revert story. I hope you benefit from this story, and I would like to see some comments from you. And so, Assalamu alaikum.